Hey guys, Dr. Review here. I want to talk about what I had previously talked about in my book announcement, is that enlightenment. I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of a teaser, a step-to-step, so to say, of how to achieve enlightenment. So, Chapter 1, wake the fuck up, okay? We go through life with the understanding that what we learn is true, that what science says is true, what math says is true, which I know that sounds really stupid because ultimately, I mean, they did a formula and they calculated it, and to their understanding it comes to be true, which they are correct. But now, we are so undereducated as a society to where we only take certain bits of information and utilize it as truth. Now, the biggest exemplification of this is in politics. Now, how many people are for Obama? How many people are for Romney? How many people don't really give a shit? And how many people realize that it doesn't matter who you're for, because ultimately we don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy, okay? It's not the way you think it is. Things are run by a higher power who holds all the money. What else? What do you think the Federal Reserve is? You know, I mean, the Federal Reserve is owned by the government. That's why the government owns the Federal Reserve. That doesn't make any sense at all. The Federal Reserve is owned by all the people who have all the money. The Federal Reserve was put intact in the early 1900s, and it was actually more of a bribery. It's like, okay, hey, we'll get you elected. We'll sponsor your campaign if you pass this bill. Well, they're already pulling the strings. They're using the most rudimentary psychology. They're going based off of people's instincts, their needs, and they're facilitating a solution to those instincts and those needs by, of course, gaining something that they want. How else does a business work? That's how businesses work. Government is business. Government is strictly business. It's not anything beyond that. I mean, how are you going to govern so many people with just a few people? Well, you got to get inside their head. You got to be smarter than them. Come on, you know? But here's the thing. If you want to be happy, you want to be enlightened, you want to wake up, you got to start to realize that things are not what they seem. Even you're not what you think you are. You're so much more. You are a human being. You are millions of atoms making up millions of cells, making up tissues, making up organs, making up systems, making up you. You are billions of life forms in one. So now think of our planet in that same fashion. Billions of life forms, trees, plants, earth, everything is living in a sense. It's all a part of a bigger structure. Everything is a part of a bigger system, okay? Now us human beings are probably one dedicated system to this earth, or the earth's immune system that we live in. So be aware that your potential holds so much more than what you understand it to be, okay? Realize that everything is a pattern and relatively limitless, okay? So, now to get to the psyche of it all, to be happy. What we need to do to be happy. What we need to do is perceive in the most neutral fashion possible. The first thing we got to realize is, like I said, admit that you know nothing. By admitting that you know nothing and accepting that you know nothing and not having to have an answer, a solution, or response to everything anybody ever says, you are ultimately allowing yourself to open up. You're allowing new information to be able to be retained, which is only going to grow your foundation so that you can build a big old house on top of it, okay? Because you can't build a house without a strong foundation, and you can't have a strong foundation unless you realize what it takes to make a strong foundation. And like I'm telling you right now, you've got to admit that you know nothing so that you can learn. And it's not just admitting it, it's opening yourself up, it's perceiving it. Understanding that if you answer a question, that answer may be true, may be false, who knows? And it's that who knows is where you want to live, okay? Don't take everything as truth, don't take everything as false, even what I'm telling you here. This is my experience, this is what I found to be true based on living, learning, loving, enjoying, you know, take my happiness, my optimism for an example, but don't take it as truth, because ultimately it's up to you to find your own journey. But the key is, get rid of all that unnecessary thinking, all that unnecessary perspective that's only going to limit you and allow you to not grow and, you know, expound on the idea of you becoming, quite literally, whatever you want to be. Open up your brain, utilize more of it. So, that's chapter 1. Wake the fuck up. And I'm not even going to get into the other chapter really, but that's really the key. Wake the fuck up. Because with this perspective, with this enlightenment or self-actualization, awakening, so to say, you're allowing yourself to learn, and you're allowing yourself to excel in anything. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And the only way to gain knowledge, admit you know nothing. Okay? So, if you have any questions and have a further understanding, this of course is going to continue. I'm going to have more videos of, little introductions to things, but if you want to know the full story and you actually want to follow a step-by-step program that's going to help you and contribute to you growing, you're going to have to read the book. It's just the way it is. So, my YouTube following, all 14 of you, and whoever else wants to follow me, of course I appreciate it. Sharing is caring, and ultimately if we want to change the world, let's do it together, because I'll help you. We could do it. We can make a difference. All it takes is one person to say something, and then another person to say yeah, and then once two people say yeah, the collective masses agree this might be true. So as we go with it, we can change the world by understanding and, of course, by following. And I'm not saying change it for the bad. I think everything that's intact is relatively in a good place. But what we can do is start to live happily and, of course, rid ourselves of any negativity in our own lives. And if everyone was positive, imagine how wonderful this world would be. We would thrive. We'd be in a golden era. We'd be in some super civilization to where we as individuals have a beautiful understanding and a beautiful experience in our own individual lives, but also as a collective mass. The whole collective amount of society is going to enjoy each other. Free, love, happiness, you know what I mean? It's quite awesome, quite awesome, and I hope that you all, of course, take into what I'm saying and also share, because this is a solution. You feel like this world is going down? Well, this is the key. This is the solution. And if everyone stands up and follows, it's going to go wonderful. So please, please share. Okay, this is Dr. Review. Also, my name is Matthew Madrid, or Matt Madrid, or Mateo Madrid. Ultimately, whatever you want to call me, I'm still going to be the same person. So, go with it. I love it. Thanks, guys.